everyone, welcome back to Mona Lisa's Masterpieces. I hope that you're all doing well and staying safe. Most if not all of my videos so far have been geared toward the girls. With Father's Day fast approaching, I thought I would concentrate on the guys a little. When it comes to finding gifts for that special guy, it can sometimes be very difficult, even if you know him very well. In today's video, I will be sharing 3 quick and easy DIY gifts for him using items that I already had on hand from Walmart and Dollar Tree. So without further ado, let's get this crafting party started. For this project, I'll be using a 1.5-inch binder from Walmart that I am no longer using. Scrapbook paper from the Girly Girl Design Pad, which is available at the 99 cents only store. Scrapbook paper from the Vintage Treasures paper pad, which is available at Walmart. Loose scrapbook paper that is available at Hobby Lobby. A See It Bigger planner, which is available at Walmart, and I'm no longer using this one. Avery shipping labels, dividers, blank recipe forms. I will be using a 3-hole punch, double-sided tape, scissors, as well as a few decals. And these are both optional, but I will be using my paper trimmer and label maker. And this project is for the guy who needs a little help with organization. The first thing I did was decide which pieces of scrapbook paper that I wanted to use for the front and back covers. And I already cut those down to size using my paper trimmer. So I'll just insert those into the vinyl pocket. I'll set this aside and work on the dividers. The dividers measure 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So after deciding which papers I want to use for each divider, I'll use my paper trimmer and cut them down to size. This paper is from the Vintage Treasures paper pack. After I cut each piece of the scrapbook paper, I'll be applying the double-sided tape to the entire perimeter of each sheet. Then I will attach the scrapbook paper to the divider. And I'll repeat that process for the other 2 dividers. Now it's time to repunch the holes in the dividers. And I'll insert them into the binder. Now the reason I chose these particular papers was because I'm making this binder for my son, and he loves reading, writing, and he loves music. I removed the pages from the calendar section in the planner, and now I'm using the paper trimmer to cut the edges off. And I'll do the same for some note paper. Now I'll use the 3-hole punch to make holes in all of the inserts. I printed these images onto the Avery shipping labels, and now I'll use my scissors and fussy cut the images out. I'll go ahead and remove the scrapbook paper from the front of the binder, and I'll place these two images onto the paper. And I'll place this image onto the back. So here is a final look at the binder. I'll be working on this hard hat for my hubby, and he has no idea that I'm doing this project today. It's his hard hat for work. I'll also be using some printouts from the internet, some napkins that I got a few years ago from Amazon, and I've used these in multiple projects. And if it's still available, I will link it in the description box below. I will also be using my scissors, some alcohol markers, a pencil, paintbrush, alcohol, Mod Podge, paper towels, and some cling wrap. First, I will cut out the images that I printed so that I can make stencils to trace on the hard hat. If you have the correct font that you like in a sticker, or if you have a vinyl cutting machine, you can use that, but I'm just using what I have on hand. Next, I'm going to cut out the horns. So I have a left horn, a right horn, and the numbers 8 and 4. I've already cleaned the hard hat with some rubbing alcohol to remove any dust or debris that was on there. Now the next step will be to align the numbers at the back of the hard hat, and then I'll trace them. So here's what the hard hat looks like with the numbers traced onto the back with the pencil. I tried using the alcohol markers and they kept smudging, so it'll be on to plan B, but first I'll trace the horns onto the hard hat. And I'm just using a couple of pieces of painter's tape to hold the template in place while I trace it. So for plan B, I'll be using some paints from Apple Barrel, and I'll be outlining the numbers and the horns in purple. I'll go around each number twice, allowing the paint to dry in between each coat. The sun is coming in through the window now, so I may have to shift my filming setup in a few minutes. Now that the purple paint has dried, I'm going to take a very small paintbrush and apply the yellow paint on the outer edge of the purple. And my lines are far from perfect. If you had a paint pen to do this part of the project, that would work a lot better. But again, I'm using what I have on hand because I can't get out to Walmart today. The paint did not need very much time to dry, but yesterday I had to switch gears and work on another project. So right now I'm cutting out the napkin, and I will use my cutter bee scissors to fussy cut the images. And these cutter bee scissors are excellent for intricate cutting. Now that I've finished fussy cutting the images, I'll separate the layers of the napkin. And then I'll be ready to Mod Podge. And because I'm just working on a small surface of the hard hat, I'll just be needing the small brush. The Mod Podge that I'm using today is in the satin finish. And I'll apply a small amount of that to the hard hat. And once I'm happy with the coverage, I will apply the image, trying to line it up in the center. And I'll use my cling wrap to smooth out any bubbles, starting from the center of the image and working outwards. And if you get any wrinkles, you can try lifting the image very carefully because the napkin is so fragile. And apply a little more of the Mod Podge and use the cling wrap to smooth it out. The reason I'm using the cling wrap is because if you try touching the napkin with your finger, the Mod Podge will adhere to your finger and tear the napkin. And I'll repeat the same technique for the other image. And I'll apply a coat of Mod Podge over both images to seal them in. You will notice that the Mod Podge is going on cloudy, but it will dry clear. And because this particular Mod Podge is not waterproof, I will get my hubby, after he gets over his initial shock, to apply a coat of sealer over the entire hard hat. Before the Mod Podge dries, I will use the rubbing alcohol to wipe away any excess. And here is how the hard hat turned out. For the next project, I'll be using this square vase from the Dollar Tree. I had already painted these vases for another project, which I have since abandoned. I will go ahead and give them a coat of the white chalk paint from Waverly, and for that I'll be using a foam brush. I will give each vase a coat of the white paint, and after it's dried I'll check if it needs another coat, but usually the Waverly chalk paint has a very good coverage. While the paint is drying, I'll cut out the logos from the napkin and then fussy cut each one. And I'll repeat the technique that I used on the hard hat to apply the image with the Mod Podge. I'll give the entire vase a coat of Mod Podge. And here is how the vase turned out. For the second vase, I printed some images on my computer. I'll fussy cut those out and repeat the same technique. And here is how the second vase turned out. It has a little bleeding from the printer ink, but overall I'm really happy with how it turned out. You're on YouTube and I need your unbiased opinion.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Open it.
Wow, beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. The only thing different, I would like a little more purple in here. A little more purple. Yeah. But otherwise, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. This is awesome, babe. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, yeah. A little more purple in here, a little more purple in here, a little bit of purple right there. It's beautiful. Ah, number 84. Yes! Randomized. That's the boy. Beautiful, baby.
Put it on.
84. Like it.
Nice.
Remind me to take it to work tomorrow.
So friends, I really love how these DIY gifts turned out. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it inspired you to create your own gifts for that special guy in your life. I will leave a list of all the supplies that I used in the description box below. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to Mona Lisa's Masterpieces. It is absolutely free. Click the notification bell to be alerted when I upload a new video. Hit the like button, and in the comment section below the video, let me know which one of these DIY gifts was your favorite. Be kind and be a blessing to someone. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, smile and create your own masterpiece today.
little more purple in here, a little more purple in here, a little bit of purple right there. It's beautiful. Ah, number 84. Yes! Randomized. That's the boy.